Warning: this podcast may contain graphic violence, sexual themes, and bad language. If our language offends you, we apologize, but we do not give a fuck. Be mindful of your kids listening.
The Evil Never Dies podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Evil Never Dies podcast, starring Brett. I'm your contributor, Carl Todd.
That's some
And
funny
welcome,
shit.
all evil ones, to the Evil Never Dies podcast.
That's some funny shit right there.
And tonight,
The
we will be not reviewing, but we will be analyzing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. So you ask me, what does analyzing mean? Analyzing means that we are going to have spoilers and spoil the movie. So if you have not watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, then you might want to watch it first. My question is, if you listen to this show, I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, then I don't know where you've been for the last 30 years, because this is one of the classic horror movies of all time.
Yes, it is.
And our host, Evil Bubba Brett. What's up, Bubby?
What's going on, man?
How's that for an intro?
Damn, dude.
I didn't even look at the camera.
I'm still.
I didn't even look at the camera while I did that. I was all confused. We got our new cups.
Yes, we do. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Mine white.
I like the darker color. Keeps ice cold.
It keeps ice cold for days.
Yeah, it does. I'm very happy with it. I appreciate it, brother.
You're very, very welcome.
And the Blu-ray and the Funko Pop.
Yeah.
They're cool, man. What else been going on since you got back from?
Well, right now I'm dealing with a granddaughter who wants to shave her head.
She don't need to shave her head.
She's not gonna shave her head. So that's what I'm currently dealing with right this moment as we're taping the podcast. Is a
That's funny.
7-year-old throwing a fit about wanting her head shaved.
That's funny. She asked my opinion too.
She said Bubby said he could do it, that she could do it too. I'm like, no, Bubby didn't. Nobody said it. She said, everybody says it but you, and you won't let me.
That's funny. Like I said, need to put away the electric razors and shit scissors and all that, or that little girl will wake up bald. Oh,
but yeah, I had a good trip with daughter Madison and Jeremy. We had a good time. Went to an escape room at Haunted Mayfield Manor, and the kids did good. I just stood there and kind of looked at everything.
that's
First
cool.
escape room I've ever worked. I've ever been to. So it was interesting.
They go by quick though, don't they?
We had like
a time limit.
5 minutes or something. But I already told the guy that I was a haunter, and he said, you'll get through it. He said, we'll make sure you do. He said, then you can go through the haunt for free. So shout out to Haunted Mayfield Manor in Galveston, Texas. They are open year round. The only year-round haunt in Texas, every day in the summer. They're open from like 10 a.m. to like 8 p.m. every day. They got an escape room, a haunted house, and a pirate museum on the sell a lot of cool merchandise in there as well. So good friends of mine, I guess, of the show now. I should have told them about the podcast, but we were busy trying to escape. I didn't want the doctor coming after me.
Maybe you can email them and say, hey.
I don't know. I really wasn't thinking about the podcast while I was gone. Sorry, folks.
Ain't nothing but sorry, but for us, man, because that could have been some more publicity.
Well,
for
I was
for
with
them
my
and
daughter.
I know you.
We were having a vacation.
Don't need to be working on your vacation. I've done it many times. It sucks.
So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. What happened to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1? Did we miss it?
Yeah, you know how we are.
So we're still doing. We said we weren't going to do that anymore. Hold on, I got to turn the volume up just a snitch. And
Yeah, but we've been planning on doing this for a long time. This was actually going to be one of our first
anniversary.
No, we were going to do it way before that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, like within the first 10 episodes, I think we were going to do it, but we never got around to it.
Well, we're very organized here, and we decided back in the haunted house today, at least I decided, I didn't even ask Brett's opinion, that we're going to do more analyzing the movie than reviewing the movie. So, as I said earlier, if you have not seen Chainsaw 2, then maybe you want to go watch it, or you can just get spoiled, because this movie really needs to be analyzed more than reviewed. I've seen this movie 1,000 times, literally. Still love it. There's not going to be any reviews, because this is a 5-star movie for me, or 5 Chainsaw movie. So I don't know, you can rate it at the end if you want, but I'm not going to lie, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. And there you go.
Okay,
so let's get started, I guess, because we have a live chat afterwards. So
yes, we do. All right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2,
or part 2,
which it's on the actual cover of the movie poster.
Yeah, which was The Breakfast Club.
Yeah. You're stealing my trivia there, feller.
I don't got no notes tonight. I'm going strictly off my head.
Oh,
I have no notes.
Okay.
No notes.
It was directed by Hooper. Written by Kit Carson. Produced by Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus. They did a lot of TV stuff back in the day.
They were also the ones that won the Wet is the Monster.
Where's the monster? All right. Cinematography by Richard Coors. Edited by Elaine Jakubowicz. I think I said that right. Music by tobehooper and Jerry Lambert.
Good music, and it's on Apple freaking Music. I found it today.
Yeah, I know you sent that to me. I have to listen to it.
I love that score. I've always have. It's kind of that keyboardy, weird, creepy shit. So score is available on Apple Music.
The score and the soundtrack's available. You know, there is.
I didn't find the soundtrack. I just found the score.
Okay. Production company was the Cannon Group. Distributed by Cannon Releasing.
Now I have a question. Were they related to Canon cameras? I've always wondered that, and I've never been able to find it.
I don't know.
Well, you're supposed to know this stuff. You're the host of the show.
I don't know. The Cannon Group.
Yeah, Canon cameras, I think.
It just says here they owned a large cinema chain and invested in the video market. Is all the
okay, I guess they're not related to Canon then, so never mind.
Maybe somewhere down the line, who knows. Released on August 22nd, 1986. Running time of 101 minutes. Country is United States. English language.
Well, somewhat English. Leatherface does not speak English.
He just speaks tongue, I guess.
Yeah.
Mostly all he did throughout the whole thing was just stick his tongue out. Budget $4.5 million.
Well, it was originally $5.5 million, and the Canon folks showed up on the set and said, y'all's budget just got cut by $1 million.
Yeah, I guess they would add and take away money from the budget depending on films that they were putting out at the time, how good they were doing at the box office.
Yeah, well, they cut this by $1 million right during the filming. And Kit Carson was actually there with his typewriter having to rewrite the movie like daily. This was being written in real time. They kept changing it like by the day.
Yeah, it's actually like 10 minutes shorter than what he originally.
Yeah, he was right in the ending, and they said the movie. He said he like knocked out. He was so tired and woke up the next morning and pulled up his paper, and they said we just stopped filming, and he's like, "What? Okay, good." And he said he didn't even care at that point. He was so happy that it was finally filmed. Like I said, I'm ad-libbing this one. I'm just going off what I know about the movie. So
Yeah, you
sorry.
you watched the interviews though, didn't you?
Yeah, but I've seen them all a million times, so I sort of refreshed
You
myself.
know-
Today, I was supposed to be helping Brett in the haunt, but I was feeling a little funky, so I stayed in the house and literally watched Chainsaw Massacre 2 all day and all the bonuses. So there is a bonus on there that's about the Canon Film Group. I didn't get to watch because it's 2.5 hours long. So
Really? Wow. All right. Well, you want to go over the plot, Carl?
are we gonna just do the subplot or just go over the whole
Just
movie?
do a small plot.
Okay, the plot of the movie, it begins with two yuppies, which Kit
Yuppies.
Carson said that he was in it sounded like the what's that fancy mall, the Galleria in Dallas, and said he saw these people in pastel suits and pink shirts, and he's like, this is exactly who Leatherface would want to kill. So they're driving in their BMW.
We used to call them people socias.
Yeah, we called them yuppies. I might have, or preppies, which I was a preppy when I was a
preppy
kid.
or soc.
So anyway, so these preppies are headed down the highway going to the Texas OU game. This movie is based in Dallas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's filmed in Austin, but we'll get to that later. But these guys are going to the football game and listening to the radio. Well, what was that station? KOKLA?
So I can't
Something like
remember.
that. Red River Rock and Roll with your DJ Stretch.
Yeah.
So they decide they're going to call Stretch up and on their in-car cell phone.
Yeah.
And they're bugging the hell out of Stretch, who's the DJ. And they can't get him off the phone. So they just keep on blabbing. So eventually, I guess they finally hung up. In the meantime, there's a truck going down the road. Well,
minding
these fools
minding its own business.
minding its own business, not doing nothing. And these two yuppies decide they're going to play chicken with the truck, and they actually run the truck off the road.
Bad mistake.
Bad mistake. So later that night, I guess they call Stretch back again, and she's like, y'all hang up. Well, the truck catches up to them, and guess who it is? It's the Sawyer family.
Sawyer family.
And it's Leatherface. And Leatherface decides he's going to chop this dude's head in two. And it all gets taped and put on the radio. And that's our plot right there.
I looked up to find out about that scene when they're Leatherface is in the back seat of in the back of the truck bed. And it looks like they're actually driving.
It does. And they actually had to use a stunt man for Leatherface that wasn't the two guys that played Leatherface.
Yeah.
Bill Johnson was the primary Leatherface, but he also had a stunt guy. This was a special stunt guy. So I didn't hear any details, but I think they were actually driving as they filmed this thing.
Well, that was a good scene then.
I think that was the Bastrop Bridge, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was not nearly as long as it appeared in the movie, by the way. That was a little bit of Hollywood magic there.
Yeah.
So,
all right, continue.
That's our plot. No, that's our plot. So where are we going from here? This is different for us. So we're gonna figure out as we go what the flip we're doing.
Want me to do the cast or how you want to do? What do you want?
Let's do the cast of the movie.
All right. Cast of the movie. We got Dennis Hopper as
right, the Dennis Hopper.
The Dennis Hopper as Lieutenant Lefty and Right. Then we got Caroline Williams as Vanita Stretch Brock. She plays the DJ at the radio station.
And we got somebody returning from the original movie here.
Yep, Jim Seedow as Drayton Sawyer, aka the cook. Yep. He was in the original.
Yes, he was. He was the cook in that one, I believe. He's sort of the leader of the family in most of these movies. So
Next, we got Bill Moseley as Robert Sawyer, aka Choptop.
AKA Plate.
Plate.
I used to call him Plate because I never knew what his name was. So as a kid, I always called him Plate. I always thought he was the hitchhiker, but he was not.
We'll go into that. I got some trivia about that.
Yeah, Nobbins, that was his brother. We'll get to that later.
Yep. Bill Johnson is Leatherface. And then we got Bob Elmore, who played Bill Johnson did the close-up shots of his face and all that.
Yeah, he was more of a face actor because he acted with his eyes and the tongue. And he's a really, really intelligent guy too, listening to him in the commentaries. Really smart guy. You would never know that how just from, but the eyes were a key part of this Leatherface, which has never happened in another Chainsaw movie.
Yeah.
So then we also had, who was it?
Bob Elmore plays Leatherface when he's not in close-up shots.
He was more the stuntman Leatherface, I think.
Then we got Tom Morga, who plays Leatherface during the bridge scene.
He was the super stunt double.
Next, we got Ken Everett as Grandpa, and that guy was only like 22 years old. Did you know that? When
I did know that, and I thought he was the same guy from the first, but apparently I was wrong all these years.
Well, he's like a 22-year-old kid.
I think Grandpa's been in every Chainsaw movie, by the way.
Savini did a really good job on this Grandpa, though.
Well, Savini did great on everything.
Yeah.
He should have won an Academy Award.
No shit. Harlan Jordan as the patrolman.
I don't even remember a patrolman.
Kirk Sisko as the detective.
Oh, those guys at the beginning,
Yeah. James N. Harrell as the Cutright manager.
Was he a real actor, or was he just some dude they found?
He's an actor.
Okay, I thought he was just some old guy they found in Austin and said, "Come on, be in a movie."
Yeah, that was a funny scene. Lou Perry is L.G. Peters. And Barry Kenyon.
He did a good job too.
Yeah.
And spit on everything.
Barry Kenyon as the Mercedes driver. And Chris Doritas as Gunner Rick.
Also known as Rick the Prick.
Rick the Prick. There's a couple of extras here that made cameos. Kinky Friedman. What's he do?
He ran for governor once. He's some kind of
singer, songwriter, novelist, humorist, politician.
Big in Austin, I think.
Yeah.
Remember, folks, we're in Dallas-Fort Worth, not Austin. It's like a different country in Austin.
Yeah.
Texas is so big. We have like different regions, and Austin is not our region.
No.
Thank God.
Well, he played the sports anchorman, as does Dan Jenkins. He was also the TV commentator. And Joe Bob Briggs made a cameo in this too, but I guess the shot was cut.
It was cut, but I think Tobehooper was in this actually in the very beginning, like walked by
in the hotel scene when she's going to the hotel room, and he like walks in front of the camera. It almost looks like they did it on accident, sort of.
Now y'all got to realize at this point he was a big time Hollywood director.
Yep.
He was actually in his prime here, so getting him and Dennis Hopper together was they were A-list people at this point. He wasn't just the guy who made Chainsaw 1. He'd made some pretty big movies, including Poltergeist.
Yeah. Which still scares the shit out of me. That's probably one of the only movies that's really scary.
It is scary as shit. Yep.
All right, well, that's the cast. You know anything about the production since you've
Well, I guess how it started, Tobehooper decided that he wanted to make a sequel to Chainsaw and called Kit Carson and said, I need you to write me a script. And Kit Carson said, well, you know, nobody's going to take this movie serious. He says, oh, I know. He said, we need to make it a dark comedy. He said, it needs to almost make fun of the original movie.
Yeah.
And Kit Carson was like, I agree. So that's what they did. They went in from it saying this needs to be a dark comedy. And that's what it is. If anything, it's almost a spoof of the original, but it's not done in a disrespectful manner at all.
No.
It's fun. It's this movie and Evil Dead 2 are like bastard twins.
Yep, exactly. But Tobehooper, he just wanted to produce the film. He didn't want to direct.
Yeah, he didn't want to direct. Yeah,
But the budget didn't allow it, so he said,
so he had to direct it.
Yeah.
Now, Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface in the original movie, was originally offered the role of Leatherface, but the Cannon Group only wanted to pay him whatever you pay a base actor,
plus 10%.
10% to his agent.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't have an agent. And they said, well, then we'll just keep the 10%. So he decided that he did not want to do it. At the time, I don't think they felt that any of those people from Chainsaw 1 were of any importance. So it wasn't a big deal to recast because, I mean, Leatherface isn't a mask anyway. I don't know what the story behind Hitchhiker, why he didn't come back, what for. I've never really heard that story.
Well, evidently he's dead.
Evidently he is dead, but I don't know.
We'll get
evidently
to that.
He could have came back from the dead, but evidently I don't know why they didn't bring him back for. You got all kinds of stuff blowing around in your house. Is it haunted over there?
Blowing around. Well, I got the fan going, so
Oh, it must be it.
Because it's hot as hell in this little garage.
But I don't know why Ed Neal was not asked to come back, or if he was. Ed Neal's the actor who played the hitchhiker, also known as Nubbins.
Nubbins. You find that out in the movie too.
Yeah, and he apparently that's his name now. So I don't know what the story with Ed Neal. Why I'd like to know. I've never really got a true story. I guess next time I see him, I will just ask him.
Is he going to be at Texas Frightmare?
Yes, he is. I think because he lives around here.
Yeah, he does. He lives up like in Plano or something, I think.
He has a big presence on Facebook, and he'll actually sign shit if you send him a message. He'll charge you about $50. But when I met Bill Moseley, I said, should I go get Ed Neal to sign this picture? Because it's the Breakfast Club. I said, because isn't that his character there? And he's like, yeah, go over there and get him to sign it. He'll piss him off. I'm like, I don't want to piss him off. And I think he was just fucking with me, but I was like scared to go over there. I didn't want to make him mad. So
that's funny.
I'm sure if I'd have gave the dude $50, he would have signed it and put anything I wanted on it. I may take that this year because that would be kind of cool to have Ed Neal and Bill Moseley.
Yeah,
both
cool.
To sign that picture.
Yeah.
But never could find the reasoning why he didn't come back. But for purpose of the storyline, he dead.
He dead.
He dead.
All right, what else do you want to go over?
Let's see. Well, now they filmed this whole thing in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
The entire thing. They actually rented the old Austin newspaper warehouse or distribution building, and that's actually where they built the entire set for everything, as far as the underground smokehouse that Leatherface and Choptop and the cook Drayton Sawyer
they did
lived
such
in.
A good job on that too, man.
Yeah, LG actually
there was
said
shit everywhere, dude.
They should have actually kept that as a haunted house, and people would have came from all over the world to see
they
it.
would have. because it was set up sort of like a haunt.
It was.
But I kept thinking when I was watching it this last time, I was like, that would be such a cool haunt.
Yeah, it was all in that
The
the
trails and
newspaper
stuff
building.
going all around. And yeah.
This the little ladder or whatever.
Yeah, little
or the,
steps going up and
Yeah, the
crazy,
ladders
man.
going up, and then the she has to go down the slide to get in. Stretch. The radio station actually didn't exist. It was just not a cardboard, but a plywood front with some stairs going up. There was no back or nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't a building. It was just built up there.
And then they built a sound stage in that warehouse for the radio station.
They did. Everything was built inside the warehouse.
It looked like a real radio station.
Yeah. They said that they bought every kind of antique and everything to.
Yeah, I think I got some trivia about that. About a poster on the wall.
Now, the chainsaw store in the movie was actually a chainsaw store, and it still exists in Austin. It's now a bar and barbecue joint. It's actually called Stubbs Barbecue.
Oh, that's Stubbs?
They sell Stubbs there.
Oh, really?
It's called, I forget the name of the bar. It was something like the Cat Club. I don't know, but they actually they have like a chainsaw in there, and they kind of promote the fact the movie was there, but the building actually still there.
Well, isn't the gas station from the original, isn't it in Bastoff, Texas?
It is, and you can actually go spend the night there.
Yeah, and watch the movie, and
Yeah.
And I guess they got food and stuff and all
They
kinds.
do.
That,
We ought to go do that one weekend,
that
but
might be cool, man.
I'll never go do it, dude.
I will.
No, I won't.
Why not? What is it? 2 hours away? Just south.
I won't ever go.
Just north of Austin. Ain't even all the way to Austin.
What else? The amusement park they filmed the outside of the Sawyer's compound was actually an amusement park that had been closed and abandoned. And
Was
they
it
tore
really
it down
the,
after the movie.
Was it really the
No,
Cowboys and Indians or whatever?
no, it really wasn't that. It was just some like failed amusement park.
Huh.
But it's actually the land was still there as of the Scream Factory release, and but they said they was going to turn into a truck stop. So that was probably the last time you'd ever see that land, before it got converted over. They didn't film anything inside, just the outside, but they actually built the cavern where the grandma sits.
All right, you want to go over some trivia?
Anything else on the production that you got?
Oh, not really.
What about Bill Moseley? Had actually created a parody.
Yeah, and made
where he played the hitchhiker.
Yeah,
and I guess Tobe Hooper saw it, and he said, "Yeah, if we ever make a sequel, I'll call you." And one day, he called him.
Yep.
And said he was for the role of Choptop, who was the hitchhiker's twin brother. Why was Choptop not in the original? He was in the Vietnam War at the time.
Yeah.
And
that's how he got the plate in his head.
I remember telling Bill Moseley, I said, when I was a kid, I thought your name was Plate. He's like, Plate? He's like, well, damn, that's a better name than Choptop. Well, he did say, kiss my plate.
Yeah, he did. He did such a good job as that character, dude.
And Bill Moseley's like a Harvard educated dude. He's really a smart guy.
He can play a real evil motherfucker too, man.
Yeah, he can.
Shit. All right. Speaking of that, the corpse that Choptop and Leatherface carry around with them, also appearing on the original cover art, is that of the hitchhiker.
Nubbins.
Original Nubbins.
So they've been carting around his dead body all these years?
I guess, man. I guess.
I still wish we knew why Ed Neal did not come back. I've never heard anybody discuss that, and I've talked about
I
it
couldn't
before.
find nothing about it either.
There is nothing on it. Maybe I need to. I got him as friends on Facebook. I think I'll send him a
Because
message.
he was the only other one besides what's her name that didn't get killed in it in the first one.
Well, he got run over and smushed.
Yeah, that's right. He did, didn't he?
The cook was the only one that didn't die, I don't guess. I don't know what happened to him in the original movie.
I don't know.
I don't either. I haven't watched the original. It's coming out on 4K in 2 different copies. England's got one, and then I think Arrow's putting one out in the United States. I just don't know how good that a 16 millimeter or whatever it was movie would look in 4K. So
All right.
let's go to trivia. That's all I've got on production. Not a lot there, except what I think I pretty much covered it. Oh, there is one other little bit of trivia that I'm going to cover before you get there. Apparently, the rumor was that Lefty was Stretch's daddy.
Yeah, that was in the original script.
Yes. And apparently they sort of kind of keep that going, which made no sense. But a lot of this movie don't make any sense, honestly, but we'll get there when we analyze it.
I guess
That's what we're calling it now, analyzing, not spoiling. What you got, Bubba?
Toby Hooper originally had idea for the sequel to be an entire town of cannibals.
That would have been dumb.
Satire from the film Motel Hell.
I hate Motel Hell.
I don't like it either. I don't think we'll ever do it.
We will not.
Maybe if we get desperate.
No, I would do Andy Warhol's Frankenstein before I did Motel Hell.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that.
No, you won't. We'll do every Saw movie before we do all
Motel Hell was actually a satire of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the
that.
original.
It was, yes.
With stupid fucking
Very dumb movie, yeah. Well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is a satire of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so
you know what the original title of the movie was supposed to be called?
I do not know.
Beyond the Valley of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That would have been stupid.
That sounds like a fucking Planet of the Apes movie, dude, or something.
I think it is, isn't it? Did y'all figure out how the Statue of Liberty got where it was in Planet of the Apes?
I don't remember, man. I guess
Okay.
it's from the bomb, dude. From the bomb.
Hey, you got your Ranger hat on.
Yeah, I do. Thank you for that too, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I've been giving Bubba all kinds of gifts.
Like we said earlier, the family group shot is parody of the Breakfast Club movie from 1985.
Which I have that picture on the wall signed by the great Bill Moseley, and it may be signed by Ed Neal here in a few months.
That's only like a month away, dude. End of May.
No.
I think it's Memorial Day weekend.
We need to tell Greg to buy his ticket tonight.
That's right. Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah.
I think,
Bill Moseley said that his role as Choptop is his favorite.
Oh, it's his best role ever by far.
Yep. Yeah. And on the other hand, Dennis Hopper thought that this was the worst movie he'd ever been in.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed the movie, but in the end, I think it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know what.
Then later, he said the same thing about Super Mario Brothers from 1993.
Yeah.
That was fucking a stupid movie too, man.
They said that he was real fun on the set, though.
Caroline Williams, aka
Stretch,
wanted to make a strong impression in her audition. When she was called in, she went to the end of the hallway and ran in screaming into the room, where she pulled Toby Hooper and Kit Carson out of their seats and used the chairs to barricade the door before she started her actual scene.
She got the role.
Got the role. You're fucking hired.
I'll tell you what, she's still a very pretty lady too.
Yeah, she is. I'd like to get a picture with her if she came to the con, man. That'd be cool.
I don't know if she does cons anymore. She used to.
Primus sampled a dogwillhunt that
Dogwillhunt
for their song Jerry Was a Race Car Driver.
I remember that.
Yeah. Like we talked about, Bill Moseley created a short film parody entitled The Texas Chainsaw Manicure.
Yes.
Where
And he
played
played the hitchhiker in it.
Hitchhiker. And
Nobbins, whatever the hell.
Nubbins. All right. Tom Savini once stated that the makeup effects that he created for Grandpa is his most proud accomplishment. Which he
Isn't that awesome?
I know, he did such a good job. Compares it to the makeup that he did on Dustin Hoffman in Little Big Man from 1970.
I didn't know he did that.
Yep. Lefty finds a skeleton of Franklin sitting in the wheelchair.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb.
Yeah.
Why would they have carted the wheelchair from South Texas all the way to Dallas?
I don't know,
There's a lot of little dumb parts of this movie that I just overlooked.
They threw in from the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. That
Jim Sedow was the only actor in the movie from the original movie. And Lou Perryman worked on the original film as a crew member, but did not act in it. Lengthy scene in which the Sawyer family goes out hunting prime meat.
they cut that out.
Because it was too long. Yep. But it is present on the gruesome edition DVD. Is that on the Blu-ray too?
It's extras. It's not in the movie, actually.
Oh, okay. They just show the scene then.
Yeah.
All right.
There was a lot of controversy about that the gruesome edition was an uncut version, and Tobe Hooper said that the director's cut is the version that was released at the theater. And that is interesting to note. This movie actually was unrated. It was going to get rated X by the, and they weren't going to make any cuts. So it went unrated. And I remember the trailers when I was a kid, it would said, due to the graphic nature of this movie, no one under the age of 17 will be allowed in the theater. And they weren't joking.
Well, it's been banned in Australia and in the UK up until 2016. They finally allowed it.
They finally unbanned it?
Yep, finally unbanned it in 2016. Little tidbit there. A lot of fans,
There's some pretty controversial parts to this movie.
Yeah. Many of the fans of the original dislike this movie due to its emphasis on gore and wacky humor.
That's what made me like it better than the original.
Yeah. Tobe Hooper said that there was black humor in the original, but nobody acknowledged it because of its shocking content.
I've heard him say that, but I don't see anything black humor about the original.
Well, what's his name?
The Goofy Franklin.
Yeah, the Franklin. He was sort of funny in it, I guess.
I think he was just dumb.
Oh,
call him dumb, so I don't know.
Well, let's see here. Like I said, Tobe Hooper was just going to produce the movie and then got stuck doing it because they couldn't afford a.
You know, he had a blast making this movie.
Oh, hell yeah, he did. And they did such a good job with the budget they had too, man. They did a lot of stuff, man. I kept thinking when I was watching it this morning, I was like, man. And they had Savini on board, doing makeup and stuff. So
yeah, and this was what, 86, 87? Yeah. So he was like top of his game at that point. Yeah, so he didn't come cheap.
No, he was like in his prime then.
Best special effects artist ever.
Yep. Toby Hooper said that cutting the film down to 90 minutes from 100 minutes was a major priority for Canon, so they could have more screenings per day. Sounds
I
like
wonder what they thought about it
they were
being,
money hungry, man, for sure.
I wonder what they thought about it once it was rated or not rated.
Not rated.
Or rated X or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, controversial Butcher cover of the Beatles album from yesterday and today can be seen hanging on the radio station wall.
What's controversial about it? Because I know nothing about the Beatles.
I don't know. Don't know.
I
Is it
don't
like
either.
a special album, different picture or something, how like they original cover art, compared to what they released? I don't know.
I know nothing about the Beatles, and I don't want to know anything. I'm not a fan. Sorry, folks. I'm a heavy metal dude, not a Beatles guy.
Fire erupted one night at the downtown Austin building where they were filming at.
Oh shit!
And when the fire arrived, they found all the corpses and
They thought they were dead people.
thought they stumbled onto a mass murder scene.
That's fucking crazy. I never heard that story ever,
Yeah,
dude.
that's funny, dude.
That is funny.
Like you said earlier in the original screenplay, Stretch was going to be Lefty's illegitimate daughter.
I think they still somewhat kept that going.
Yeah.
Although it seemed to me like maybe Stretch was a little hot for Lefty. I don't know.
When Choptop's in the records in the radio station, and he asked Stretch if the tape opening the tape with the recorded with the murder from the bridge scene, he asked if it was the soundtrack to Rambo 3. And Rambo 3 hadn't even been released yet.
I didn't think it had when I heard that, but here's you a little bit of trivia for that. I always noticed this because as a kid, I used to record stuff on cassette tape. That was a 30-minute Radio Shack cassette tape.
Really?
Yes. Now when I saw that, oh, that's a Radio Shack tape. So that's just the nerd kid in me that used to record stuff all the time.
Did you used to go down to the store down there in Fort Worth all the time?
All the time, dude. Yeah.
I love the Radio Shack, man. Sucks they went under.
Yeah.
Because you could get, well, it's not hard getting stuff now. You can get it on Amazon, but used to be there was only you can only get certain stuff from the Radio Shack,
That's true.
certain electronic stuff and gadgets and stuff. So yeah, I miss the Radio Shack. All right.
What else you got?
Oh, what time's it getting to be here? How long
9 o'clock. So we're gonna have to do our analyzing here pretty soon.
All right. I got a bunch here. The chainsaw used in the film actually belongs to Toby Hooper, and he rests it in a glass display case.
Oh, really?
Yep. Let's
Did
see
not know
here.
that.
We've went over a bunch of this stuff. When Lefty is in the Cut Right store picking chainsaws off the wall, the same model saw used by Leatherface in the first film can be seen. A Poulan 245A. Toby Hooper consciously concentrated on the black comedy element of the film as he felt that it had been overlooked in the original movie.
I don't see any black comedy in the original movie.
The date of the newspaper that Stretch shows Lieutenant Enright at his hotel is October 20th, 1986, which I think was after the film was released. It was released in August of 86.
Okay. You have some weird trivia sometimes.
Weird trivia.
Yeah, like you confuse me.
Well, do you want to analyze then? That's about all I
Let's
got for
analyze.
trivia.
So let's go back to the beginning. Leatherface is chopping up the yuppies as they're driving down the road on this bridge that's about 5 miles long in the movie. Why did the yuppies just not hit the brakes?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
They just kept going,
They just kept,
trying to shoot Leatherface.
well, they shot Nubbins or Nobbins or whatever his name is.
He had nubbins around his neck.
I didn't get that either. Why did he have him?
I don't know.
What was the obsession with them and their brother hitchhiker?
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
I don't know why they just didn't get Ed Neal back. Sorry, dude. I just don't get it.
I know. All right, what else? What else you got to analyze?
Okay, so let's analyze this. So Stretch brings Lefty the tape, the Radio Shack tape, and he don't want nothing to do with it and says, "Girl, you're just gonna get me in trouble or something." Why did he not take the tape then? And then he shows up like a day later, all the way in Burke Burnett, which is where the radio station was supposed to be at, which is north of here.
Yep.
So why did Lefty not take the tape? Can you explain that one to me?
Why didn't he take the tape? I don't know.
When they were in the hotel room.
Don't know.
Maybe it had to do with the fact he's like, oh shit, that's my kid. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff.
Maybe he was trying. Maybe he thought if he went up the actual to where she was at. I don't know. I don't.
Why did Drayton Sawyer change from barbecue to chili?
I don't know, man. The chili looked fucking good though.
Well, yeah, it's made out of people.
Oh.
I don't get why they were
Really?
known for their barbecue, and Drayton Sawyer, the cook, is now a chili cook.
Yeah, that's true.
What in the world's going
You
on?
flickered there, feller.
What?
You flickered for a second.
I know I flickered.
You flicker.
I didn't flicker. So what do you got to analyze?
I don't know. Just the why did they move? Why did they move? Why couldn't
Well,
they?
that makes sense because they're killing people everywhere, so they probably have to take a ship every so often and move to a different location.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that's true.
Well, they had a whole family in the first movie. What happened to the rest of the family?
Yeah. Where did they go?
Don't know.
The one wasn't that the mama that they had?
Mama's gone. Yeah.
Well, who was the female skeleton thing they had?
That's another thing. Who was that female skeleton up in that little cubby home? Was she alive?
She didn't look alive. She looked like a corpse.
Well, Choptop plate says, you killed her. You killed her.
Oh, I don't know. She looked like, looked like a corpse to me. Didn't look like she was alive.
Or was she the mama from the first movie?
I don't know. I don't know.
See, there's a lot about this movie to analyze.
Yeah, there's a lot going on for sure.
Why did it take Dennis Hopper that many years to find them?
Yeah, for sure. Mean, when he was a marshal, he was supposedly
he was a Texas Ranger, I think.
Yeah.
Why could he not find him? It took him all the way to that movie to find him after however many years.
12 years, 13
Maybe that's why they moved. They're hiding from Dennis Hopper all this time.
Yeah, because that was another thing. Dennis Hopper was supposed to be Franklin and what's her name's uncle.
The uncle, yeah.
Yeah, he was the uncle of them two. And supposedly when they could never find any evidence of anything from the original.
Well, that's because they took Franklin with them wherever they went.
Evidently, yeah. That's funny.
Dude, I don't know.
And how come what's his name he had a cell phone in his
Brayton Sawyer had a cell phone in
yeah,
his
he did.
rig. He's like driving around in a
It
Winnebago or whatever.
was a roach coach is what it
Yeah, he
was.
was a caterer.
Portable barbecue.
He was a caterer by this point. So
Yeah. Maybe that's why he went to chili. It was easier to make chili than the barbecue.
I don't know.
It's all about the meat.
Prime meat.
Gotta have that prime meat.
Well, now they had a smokehouse down there, so they were smoking bodies.
Yep, they had them all hanging up.
Yeah.
Lots of hooks in this movie. There was lots of hooks.
Well, supposedly there's a cut scene where there was a guy in a cage, and they were like fattening him up because they said he wasn't fat. He wasn't big enough to cook yet.
Oh, that's funny.
Anything about LG, the cowboy?
Yeah, he got sliced and diced, and
Well, you notice whenever he showed up, the Sawyer's truck was there, and he spit on it because I think
Yeah.
he thought it was.
he was always spitting.
He thought it was Lefty, and I think he was jealous of Lefty.
Yeah, because he was hitting on her all the time.
Well, let's talk about the controversial scene where Leatherface takes the chainsaw to Lefty and almost rapes her with it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think even today that's
She
still a
had-
little racy.
She had very little material on them short shorts for that.
Very little.
Very little.
And yeah. So he takes the chainsaw and pretty much pops it right up there.
Yeah.
And then he does his the most famous chainsaw dance ever, where he takes the chainsaw and
Yeah. Looked like he was on a stripper pole.
Yeah. He was hot for Stretch.
Yeah, he was.
Even
I
gave
think
her
that's
red
why
face.
he kept her alive for so long.
And then Chop Top says, "Look, Bubba's got a girlfriend. She got a red face." Then he's like, "Bubba's got a girlfriend. Bubba's got a girlfriend." God, Bill Moseley must have like some major, I don't know. Hey, you got your lime.
Got my lime.
So what else is there we can analyze? Anything in this movie that's always bugged you that you just wondered, why didn't they do this?
I can't think nothing right off a hand. I probably should have writ this shit down, huh?
You should have writ this shit down.
Writ this shit.
Here's one. Why does Stretch, after they do everything, follow them back to their habitat, I guess you'd call it?
Why does she follow
Yeah,
him?
why don't you just call the damn police?
Yeah, no shit.
They've like chainsawed the entire radio station up. So she jumps in her little, was it a Jeep, and follows them.
Yeah.
I thought that was awful odd.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid too. A lot of stupid stuff in this movie, but I guess he wanted to make it that way. So
Yeah, but this is just analyzing like,
yeah,
like true, like really, would you really want to go follow these chainsaw murderers? And then Lefty says, "I used you, girl. I used you." So
there was only 8 people. The body count's only 8 people in this movie.
yeah, but how many is in that compound? How many people have they took out over the years?
Yeah, but I guess that they weren't taken out on film though,
Yeah. There's like that whole compound's full of bodies. So, what about the scene where Dennis Hopper kicks the wall and all the pancreases or whatever that is falls out?
Yeah, that was
They got that from slaughterhouses. They said it'd been sitting in there for 2 days and it was hot. And Dennis Hopper, that face he looks was legitimate.
because it starts dripping out the eye of the picture on the wall.
Mhm. I always thought they were pancreases.
Pancreases
I don't know.
look like just chopped up meat and licked in blood.
Well, apparently it came from the slaughterhouse. It was legitimate.
It was guts for sure. Who knows what kind?
I know they said that whenever they found furniture, if it was missing anything, they just put a bone on there. And they said some of those bones they got, they're animal bones and stuff, were still a little on the green side, and they really stunk. And it was like 110 degrees in this in the warehouse, and I guess
I bet.
Leatherface got sick and had to had double pneumonia from it being so hot. He actually had to miss a couple days of filming.
Having the mask on, breathing
all that and through that heat.
Yeah, that would suck.
That reminds me of working at Moxley Manor back in the day when it was 120 degrees outside. Back when we would open in September, early September.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because in Texas, it still gets 100 degrees in September.
So about 10 years ago, I'm wearing my Moxley shirt. So shout out to Rachel and Richard at Moxley Manor.
Guys on tonight. Shout out to the creepy guys, middle-aged and creeped out podcast.
Yeah. But there was a time that the haunts in Texas were starting to open closer to early September instead of later, in the month or into October. And yeah, we would die in there, especially when I was wearing that blue demon mask.
Yeah, it was
I had that thing on for 5 minutes and thought I was going to pass out one time.
Yes.
So I can imagine 12 hours filming in a Leatherface mask. It would have been bad, bad, bad. And Austin in the summer gets hot. It gets hotter than it does here, I think, with all the humidity.
Yeah, it does.
What else do we to analyze? Anything you've always wanted to know about Chainsaw 2 but was afraid to ask?
Tell me something, man. I don't know.
I'm asking you. I've had all the questions. Okay, here's your one. So when Dennis Hopper is chopping up that wood, boom, boom, with the chainsaw.
Like an idiot, that guy's just laughing at him.
Is that guy laughing or crying?
He's laughing at him like, oh, like you just gave
I always
me all
thought
this
the guy
money.
was crying, but it looked like he thinks it's funny.
I think he is laughing, man.
How do you know he's not a Sawyer?
He might be. Or some relation.
They're a bunch of inbreds, I think. They're everywhere. Chainsaw 3, it's a different family, but they still have Leatherface, and they still use the term the Saw is family, which came from Cook.
Yeah.
So
yes,
that's about all the questions I got. I always wondered if that old man was crying.
I think he's laughing, dude. I think he's laughing his ass off, like looking at him like that guy ain't never run a chainsaw in his life.
Well, he gave him like $500 for those 3 chainsaws.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I always wondered.
What you got anything else about?
The soundtrack's on Apple Music. I guess the score and the soundtrack.
Yep.
I recommend the score. I don't know what would be on the soundtrack. It had some pretty whack music.
Let me look. Let me see here. Who's on it here?
Here's some controversy.
Goo Goo Muck's on there, from the Cramps.
Okay.
You got Concrete Blonde, Timbuk 3, a bunch of like 80s. I don't know, what do you call that? What did they call that back in the day? Progressive rock or whatever. Stuart Copeland does a song on there. And there's a song Crazy Crazy Mama by Rocky Erickson.
I think I'll pass on the soundtrack and keep
it's Oingo Boingo's on there.
Yeah, I never liked Oingo Boingo.
Bunch of that new wave stuff.
So apparently Australia, like you said, had banned it, and a New Zealand cassette was in Australia. It was an illegal copy, and they actually rated them.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it took forever for this movie to come out on DVD. And that would have been one of the longest waits for a DVD. And then it came out on DVD, then it came out on Blu-ray pretty quick afterwards. And then now there's a 4K release, which I'm going to have to check out. It's from the Vinegar Syndrome folks. They restore a lot of old movies. But Scream Factory does have a Blu-ray out. It is out of print currently, actually. So that copy you had last night's worth $80.
Really?
Yes, it is. The Vinegar Syndrome 4K, which is coming out or has come out, I'm not sure yet, actually has all the special features from the Scream Factory, and they actually have some interviews from current day for the people who are still alive. A lot of the people have passed away. Tobe Hooper's gone.
Yeah.
Kid Carson's gone. I think LG, the actor, passed away.
So is Jim Cedow. He passed away.
Oh, yeah, he passed away a long time ago. Trivia note, in the Texas Chainsaw 3D, the cook is played by Bill Moseley.
All right. Well, I guess that's about all we got for.
What are you going to rate this? Because I already gave it a 5. Chainsaws a 5, because this is one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite posters of all time. And Choptop is one of my favorite characters of all time.
I'm going to give it a 4.5, man.
You're just the party pooper.
Party pooper.
You probably like the first one better.
I don't know, man.
I do not. I'm not saying the first Chainsaw Massacre is bad. I'm just saying I like part 2 better.
Okay.
I actually like part 3. When it first came out, I was so pissed because I was expecting to see, Chop Top and all them in it, and they weren't. But part 3 is not a bad movie. And one of the actors said that it might have been the guy that played Leatherface, that he thought that the first 2 were the best, of course, since Tobe Hooper played a role in them. But he thought that part 3 still had the same feel, and the rest of them were just junk. So,
all right. So you give it a 5. I would give it a 4.
I give it a 5. It's one of my rare 5s.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and check us out on the social medias. The Facebook. You glitched again, man. What the hell's going on?
That's because I got people calling me and stuff.
Okay. All right. Social medias. YouTube, you can see our stupid asses on there.
Yeah.
Buy us a cup of coffee if you feel the need. Leave us Apple reviews, man. That helps us more than anything. And it's free.
Go.
And it's free.
Hold on.
All right, everybody.
No, I'm not.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Stay evil, Carl.
I got grandkids on the phone.
Bye-bye.
You know why I'm here. Kill sites have been clustered all over northeast Texas the last 2 years.
I think I was talking to those kids when it happened. No way was that an accident. I might be the only believer you got, because it's right here. This is my chance to stop playing headbanging music and do something real.
They live on fear. They thrive on it. They ain't got no fear left.
Did you do that? What happened?
Bubba, she's ready. Bring her on down.
Got to tell the secret of that fabulously tasty chili.
I got a real good eye for prime meat. Runs in the family.
Show me what I fear, so I don't fear it no more. It's the devil's playground. Boys, boys, boys.
You're the first girl Bubba's brought home to dinner. It's a real special occasion.